art, economy, democracy.
In the background, you're going to hear a little bit of music. This is Shostakovich, and this is a video. I'm going to talk about an extraordinary person. I had a chat with Kevin Blanch this morning. He alerted me to the fact that a woman, a nun by the name of Megan Rice, was convicted for trespassing and doing mucky-muck work against a system called the nuclear industry. And she apparently has been convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison. She had accomplices, two courageous fellows. One is called Michael Wally, the other Greg Bergiobi. And they're in their 60s. They're older. One is just in the late 50s. But welcome to Gulag Democracy. And Shostakovich is very appropriate, what you hear in the background here. It's the ending. It's a more gentle sort of finish in the Symphony Number 15 by Shostakovich, alerting us to the fact, I think that Shostakovich actually spent some time in the gulags himself. I'm not 100% about this, but he was always straddling the line during the time of Stalin, who was, he was a despicable despot, as we all know. And Shostakovich managed to ride the tide. Now I'm listening to this music because we are able to straddle fine lines. Now we are in Gulag Democracy because no longer do there is the decency, what we call fairness and justice, seems to have been discarded completely. You have an 83-year-old nun, Megan Rice, who has been convicted for trespassing on a nuclear site. Where are those black water security types? Where are those machine gun toting guys in black ready to invade Latvia types? Where are they? And how did they get into this complex, putting blood on the walls of this nuclear facility? Which, yes, Shostakovich. Let's give Shostakovich a quick hand. He's a difficult composer to listen to sometimes, but he managed to get under the radar screen of Stalin, and this is why I like Shostakovich, because he was able to undermine a vicious regime, which we need to be able to start to do in order for us to have any success. And this nun is a hero for the anti-nuclear movement, someone who has stepped out with courage, and courage is going to be required for all of us. And there are different levels of courage. I think there's obviously the Braveheart idea of picking a fight with Longshanks and getting your head chopped off is a form of courage. I'm more on the side of trying to survive this battle. I want to survive this war against the nuclear types, these oligarchs that have taken over what we call democracy. Democracy actually doesn't exist. It is a gulag. It's another version of communism. What really is the decency, the caring, what we call Magna Carta, this common law, the idea that we come out of a system of respect and regard has now been trashed completely. You can see this. When they can incarcerate, throw a nun of 83 into prison for 20 years, not sure if they're going to exercise this, if there's going to be some intervention by someone else. But here you see, we are up against a humongous Goliath that has taken over what we consider to be democracy, something that has left us quite a while ago. We no longer function in a democracy because we are controlled through information, through false information, and the idea that we have access to history in a sense that we understand history is erroneous. All you need to do is look at numbers, the way numbers are being manipulated and controlled. And I have referred to this, look at my video, the one I did on Cain and Abel, biblical stories, numbers and biblical stories are totally misunderstood. We don't understand the equations that are in fact the Bible. Yes, equations. I didn't say stories, I said equations, because biblical knowledge, biblical wisdom is based on equations. Like Einstein had an equation, like these guys that come up with formulas, and even to the extent of I guess, quantum mechanics. There are formulas. Of course, it's mathematical. I am more about the real world, who we are right now, right here, which is why I make paintings. And paintings are a way to undermine this Gulag democracy with its acid-backed securities. This is what it is. Finance and economics now have come down to what I call the acid-backed securities. And I'm sure you understand, if you're an economist, if you have an understanding of finances, this is what we are subjected to. And in order to survive and overcome, first of all, to defend a person that stands up on our behalf like this Nun Megan Rice and her 2 compatriots who have been sentenced, we need to mobilize. We need to mobilize. And the way, obviously, the way I do, the limited resources available to me are my mind and the physical elements called paint and canvas. And in the back, I have continued. I'm starting to paint the FUKUSHIVA animals, and the FUKUSHIVA animals are about chromosomes. And I think we need to we need to begin to think about chromosomes. And this is what my paintings are going to be about now. They're about chromosomes. And I would be very interested to see in 25 or 50 years, or maybe even less, the structure of our chromosomes. Our DNA is made up of chromosomes, which determine what and who we are. Now, when you have this exterior force coming in, the force that is being perpetrated against the planet by nuclear facilities, processing plants that this Nun infiltrated with her colleagues to expose the fact that these people are killing us. They're killing us in Gulag Democracy. This is right under our nose. A processing plant that processed this nuclear material into fissionable bomb material, plutonium, MOX fuel. So here I am saying this has occurred. Pay attention. Nun Megan Rice being sentenced. Let's keep our eye on this because this is very important. A person, an ally has put themselves on the line, like what Tim Christopher down in Utah, what Kevin has talked about, who had tried to block the this undermining of our sovereignty in terms of the land, government land being auctioned off to private hands in order to pillage and rape the resources again. So Gulag Democracy is functioning. It's alive and well. And Shostakovich in his music was brilliant because he managed to undermine Stalin and stay below the radar screen and just infect that whole system to the point of collapse. And you know that the Soviet Union collapsed. It collapsed because there were people, there were conscious human beings in that system that resisted to the point where it collapsed. And don't kid yourself, it's not because they couldn't keep up with US arms and all that. No, forget about that bullshit. Yes, the arms race, the economics. No, people decided, we've had it, we've had it. Let's take a lesson from these courageous people that finished off with this whole Soviet bloc philosophy stuff, the communism, democracy, all the same thing as you see. Democracy, the gulag of democracy. What else can I say? Have I covered it? I'm going to go back to painting now. As you see, my chicken is ready. My weird-looking chicken is ready to get its chromosomes. By the way, I never used to wear hats, just at the end. When I lived in Spain, the sun was so intense. I probably have saved myself from skin problems because I wore hats. So now I wear hats. I like hats. Thailand, from Thailand. Look at these elephants. It's gorgeous, huh? Don't know how these guys can do it. It's fabulous, beautiful.